and I'm on the Daily Mail Online, or the Mail Online, dailymail.co.uk. To do this video, and yeah, you know, it's a weird kind of video, and it's this one here. This woman's face seems to get really fucked up. Person responded to this in the comments of a previous video, and I'm only getting to it now. But look at this freaky of a face. It's like, ooh, it's weird, it's weird. But so some of the other faces in the thing, and I'll just watch this video without all this.
Face has completely changed. Doesn't even look like a person.
What I should do.
Right, Debbie, you need to come down here for a minute,
this girl's
please.
face gets a bit weird as well. And people are like, oh, this is freaky. Oh, look. Ew.
Right, Debbie, you need to come down.
Like, initially,
she's
some kind of glowing-eyed freak, it appears to be. With a very long mouth. Apparently, this kind of effect can be caused by doing infrared video recording. Because of the lighting, illuminating the eyes, that's very plausible. It happens. I've seen that kind of thing before with other people's video content. And the mouth thing apparently can happen too. And I just thought that was an interesting side note. But the video itself, is it convincing to you? Is there an even closer up one? No, there isn't. Okay. But this girl's face gets a bit weird at times. Like there, and the quality's very low. And the eyes kind of illuminate because of the lighting there. Hey, why aren't the others getting it? It's because of where the lighting's pointing. And what causes the shadows in certain places on certain people's faces to look slightly weird at certain times. Like you see, probably the longer video probably has more of that, to be honest. Position of the light mostly, you know. I don't think the low quality helps.
Debbie, you need to come down here for a minute, please.
I don't know.
Look like it's completely changed.
Does that look freakishly big? It looks like it's coming out there, but if that's like actually part of the shadow and partly how it's recorded. Oh, she's got black eyes. How do you explain that? Sometimes her eyes are catching light, sometimes they're not. Still, interesting subject. I was told by a person who I know of, obviously on social media, on YouTube as well, and yeah, that they're a 14, and it's pretty cool that they mention that because a lot of things I wouldn't know, and I think it's worth people chipping in there. Was it there? I don't know, 50 cents worth or whatever the idiom happens to be. And because I wouldn't know a lot of this stuff. A lot of these videos and images have been debunked and or have been responded to by critical thinkers. And I wouldn't know because very often there's a big disconnect in the community anyway. With paranormalists, they have all of this, like an echo chamber propaganda basically. And the critiques of them very rarely turn up in the same searches. You know, so, hey, the Daily Mail does this article about this particular video. Freaky. Where's the response? It might not be on the same page. It might not even be in the same search, you know, depending on the search engine. So, yeah, very often people won't see that. And most people, when they do an internet search, won't go beyond the first page anyway. So, it's understandable that when people actually do search these things through whichever medium, whether it's through social media or through a search engine or through YouTube, that they will see a particular case, a particular issue, so-called proof, very often when they're doing a particular search, if they're a believer, for evidence. And I'll get a bunch of this stuff. But they don't really get the full story, which is the problem. So, yeah. Anyway, let's carry on. So now responding to a video by Paranormal Exclusive TV. They say real demon photo, ghosts caught on full spectrum camera. Now, I've not used a full spectrum camera, but they do work beyond common visible light. So typically they're used for things like night vision, so you know, with the infrared being covered because you've removed the filter, I think it is, because you don't have a filter over a sensor on a camera. You can have these adapted. You can send off your camera to a specialist. They'll effectively take apart your camera and remove this filter from your sensor, and then you end up with a full spectrum sensor, I think. But yeah, you can use it for infrared and other relating, beyond normal kind of areas of the light spectrum. So let's see what they've got here. I would use it for like really weird artistic stuff. I don't know if I'd use it for ghost hunting, but let's have a look.
17th of January 2016. The Paranormal X team visit Stubbing Pit at Romarsh, near Rotherham. Having never investigated this area before, we go with an open mind, not sure what to expect. Throughout our 4-hour investigation of the area, all seems quiet and calm, and we assume the area has zero paranormal activity, until we...
That's weird, isn't it? I mean, people go to a location for a few hours, or 4 hours, or whatever, and they basically go, it doesn't seem to have any activity going on. Oh, well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Oh, hang on, one of our pictures has got something weird.
Capture a photograph that will absolutely blow your mind. The photograph in question was captured in this exact area. Here is what we captured.
Come on.
A ghostly figure hovering above the Paranormal X team.
Does that look like a ghost to you? Hey, bro, do you vape? Looks like a bit of vapeness to something. Or is there a bit of bush? No, so they say it's here. Let's have a look there. Which bush exactly? Is it further over there where you've actually got a bit of tree? There's nothing there. Yeah, I can understand that would be fucking freaky, wouldn't it? Yeah. But I don't know. What do people think about this? I don't think it's necessarily true. It looks like there's stuff there, doesn't it? So it could be a partially illuminated, very low quality view of something partially illuminated. I don't know, because they're using obviously a light, and the light is allowing them to detect things clearer at night because it's a full spectrum camera. Ooh, and it's like, well, that just simply means you end up with lots of, magenta over this image apparently. But yeah, I just don't know what to make of it, really. Full spectrum camera, recorded in the dark. This doesn't seem to match up very well with this here. Actually, that bush, does that look like anything in here? Not terribly. There we are. So, I mean, the bush, could it be that bush? No. Somewhere along here, there's a bush that fits with the one they're standing next to. And is there anything in the background? Well, we don't fucking know. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if they were able to find the correct location and go, oh yeah, that's the bush there, and oh, there's a tree over there, and there's a carrier bag in the tree that must have been partially illuminated. Oh, well, that's pretty bad, isn't it? That would basically, sorry about the accent again, but yeah, that would basically kind of answer a few questions. As it is, it's a mystery. So, what are they claiming it is?
A ghostly figure hovering above the Paranormal X team.
Are you sure it's a figure?
We did try to debunk this with cigarette smoke and our own breaths, but were unable to do so. And upon closer inspection of this spectral beam.
So let me get this right. You tried to replicate the results, and you didn't get the same results. Therefore, we're going to say it's some kind of being.
Clear facial features can be seen.
Can they?
The Paranormal X team believe that this apparition is that of a demon that follows me around wherever I go.
A few ideas, a few concepts. It's like, oh yeah, we've got an apparition now, and you're not going to say, I'm going to say it's some kind of, some kind of demon. Yeah, because I think I've got a demon following me around. I once had a medium tell me that, and I once got a few scratches on my neck which I couldn't explain after we went to another location. And I think it's got to be a demon. It's like, really? I mean, I don't see any facial features.
Categorically agree on, however, is wherever we go, these demons are never too far away.
Paranormal X. Okay, I'm going to say, let's just say they haven't faked it, right? Because I don't know if they have, I don't know if they haven't, but let's just say it's genuine, right? Okay. And it's an actual kind of unexplained thing. Why should we think it's a demon? Because of, I don't know, Judeo-Christian mythology. Why should we presume that it's something which is following you around? Oh, because we've managed to get similar things in other places by using the same fucking camera. It's like, oh, okay, so maybe it's down to how the camera works. We managed to get mists in other places, and, you know, we had someone think it was a demon, and, you know, we're going to listen to that. It's like, well, do you really know it? Do you? I don't think you do. I mean, this is the problem. So, cool, paranormal investigators. Yes, we're paranormal investigators with our shocking evidence on a full spectrum camera. And well, do we really know that I didn't know like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago? What's confirmed? What is evidentially proven on some level? Shocking evidence? Evidence of what? What exactly is confirmed? There's a mystery. Yeah, there's a mystery. Presuming there is no fakery involved, for argument's sake, it's a mystery. I don't know you from Adam. You might not be trustworthy. You might be trustworthy. I don't know either way, but let's just say you are. What have you got clearly on video? Or on a picture with a full spectrum camera? Not a lot. It'd be cool to know what camera they use there. Maybe I should look these guys up at some point. You know. It's out of that whole image. I mean, I don't know if this image is cropped. It could be. And they basically, you know, used, presumably they've used the flash or something, I don't know. But, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just use a torch, actually. There does seem to be a bit of disconnect in terms of these colorations. It's really hard to tell what you're getting here. Get rid of that fucking thing. So that loading thing is annoying. So that's blurry, that's like that. So it suggests that the plane of focus is around these people and the bush to a degree. Soft focus, admittedly. And this area is out of focus. It's something out of the focus area. Higher up. With some kind of structure to it, but it's blurred. Which may be suggestive that it's a tree. Part of a tree, a branch illuminated. Blurred out because of the depth of field. Although it looks like there's a very good depth of field here. But that's not a good thing in a way, because it's, you know, it's, oh, there's a broad depth of field. It's due to a small sensor. But that does not mean that things that are a little bit more distant would not be blurred out to some degree. And poorly illuminated with high noise, as you can see, high noise, low visibility conditions. You know, it's very low light. Yeah, it creates room for doubt, to say the least. Yes, I'm going through the dregs of YouTube. This time it's Nuke's Top 5 Ghosts Caught on Camera. So let's give a few of these a go. I won't steal their entire content. Their video is called Ghosts Caught on Camera, Top 5 Best Ghost Photos Ever.
All found to be authentic, not manipulated in development. In the end, of course, the decision is up to you. Are these images real ghosts caught on camera, or just simple photo fakes? You decide. It's the top 5 supposedly real ghosts caught on camera. The Spectre of Newby Church. This next ghost photo is one of the most famous of all time. The photo was taken in 1963 in New
yeah.
York.
I remember this.
However, in the late
This person doesn't provide a story, but yeah, next to next to the altar, I suppose, with the cross there, you know, this weird apparition thing, quite famous.
This led many to question the authenticity of the photo. However, in the late 1970s, the film was examined by a team of experts working for the BBC. The group examined both the photo and the negative and found no evidence of tampering.
I mean, someone's going to mention the obvious. A double exposure isn't tampering. It's a double exposure. You know, that's all there is to it, really. You know, or a long exposure. That's someone wearing a kind of long robe, kind of cloth over their face. Yeah, you can do that. The exposure, how long was it? Oh, it was a 6-minute exposure. 6 minutes, Christ. Okay. Could someone walked in, stood there for a moment, and then fucked off? Or could something have been put there that looks like a person? And, you know, a few seconds to step in and out of the frame are obscured by the long exposure? You know, these things happen. But yeah.
Even stranger, during the examination, they surmised that judging by the angle and surroundings in the photo, the scary hooded entity would have been over 8 feet tall.
Or relatively close to the image. You know, or for that matter, they were walking to and from the camera. Yeah, it's debatable, but, you know, it's merely my opinion, but debatable.
Now, the second reason that this photo has more credibility than the average random ghost photo is that it was taken in 1963 by the actual vicar of the Newby Church, Reverend Kenneth F. Lord. The Reverend says that he was attempting to take a picture of the church altar, and the bizarre figure just appeared in the photo when it was developed. By going public with...
Well, it wouldn't be the first time a supposedly reputable member of society has created a fake, or could have done. For argument's sake, shall we say, hey, it's unexplained, because that's the easy route, isn't it, actually? Because do we have data to confirm this? Do we have data to confirm that? We have data so far just of the image, pretty much, and several other factors, but what do we know? I don't know. We don't know. We don't really know enough. It's all good and well saying, "Oh, the image has not been tampered with," and it's like, okay, still doesn't, you know, write things off. So, yeah, maybe a long exposure is the answer.
His ghostly photograph, the Reverend had nothing to gain and could have easily lost the respect of his church congregation and brought shame to the church itself.
I don't see how. You know, just say, "Oh, I took this long image and I walked away from the camera, and yes, of course, you know, something appeared, and you know, it's quite mysterious and makes me wonder if there wasn't something there." You know, it's very easy to do that. To say he may have lost respect from the people who were part of his congregation. It's like, oh, really?
So, would a man of the cloth fake a ghost caught on camera photo when he had nothing to gain and everything to lose?
I don't think he had nothing to gain, and I don't think he had everything to lose, considering any doubt would have been illegible.
Let me know what you think down in the comments. The White Lady of Worsted. Fuck in the UK. Diane took a seat amongst the empty pews to say a short prayer. Her husband Peter snapped a candid photo of her as she sat and prayed. Later, when the film was developed, the couple was shocked to see the ghostly apparition of what appears to be a woman sitting behind Diane, dressed all in white, wearing a bonnet and old-fashioned clothing.
I think I responded to this one before, because it was like, oh, this isn't really very impressive. Allegedly, there was no one there. Allegedly, you know, it's proof of something. You can see legs. It's not like there's no legs. Overexposed area because of the light coming through, probably the window or the door. Yeah. It's probably not intentional to, you know, have this mistake, but, yeah.
Peter and Diane Berthelot swear that there was no one else present around Diane when the picture was taken. The couple lists were
Sorry.
a ghost that is said to have haunted the Worsted Church for a woman sitting behind Diane.
I accidentally moved it back then because of me trying to put it on pause. Basically, it's an interesting image. It looks kind of cartoonish the way it is, as if this is a long exposure image. Which, you know, which people do. A lot of people don't know how to do photography. I know.
All in white, wearing a bonnet and old-fashioned clothing.
No, I didn't. And, yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's blown out, the actual image itself. Looks heavily cropped from the original. It's very low quality. It's got a kind of blur to it, which could suggest it's actually handheld as opposed to being a sharper image. Put it on high quality film, so it's on APS-C film as opposed to 35mm, but that's all illegible anyway because you did it with different effects based on ISO. So high sensitivity film would obviously end it with more grain, what we would now call noise with digital images. So yeah, it's not very clear. And if it's like, well, let's just say the image has not been tampered with, what could it be? Just a person, maybe? Although I don't really know. I mean, it could have been something that was popped there. Don't know what. But yeah, it's just mysterious. Once again, part of the unexplained.
Peter and Diane Berthelot swear that there was no one else present around Diane when the picture was taken. The couple later showed this photo to Reverend Petit, the church vicar, and inquired about the strange specter in the photo. They were shocked when the Reverend told them about the White Lady, a ghost that is said to have haunted the Worsted Church for more than 150 years.
So they equated it to an existing ghost story. This looks like it could be a man or a woman, possibly a man, I don't know, but it looks like there's trousers, dark trousers. This person there possibly wearing a white shirt or something, possibly wearing something white there. Hard to tell what this is. It could be a person wearing, a hat or something if it's a lady. It's obviously very unclear, and that's the problem, isn't it? But I wouldn't call it evidence. It's interesting.
In a local story dating back to the 1830s, it is said that a man laughingly dismissed the legend of the White Lady ghost, boasting that he would climb to the top of the church bell tower at midnight, and if the White Lady was there, he would give her a big kiss on the lips. As the story goes, the man followed through with his ill-advised boast. He did indeed climb the ladder to the Worsted Church bell tower at midnight. Time passed, but the man never returned. Finally, the man's friends ascended the bell tower stairs to check on him. What they found shocked them to the core. The man was cowering in the corner of the bell tower, shivering violently and barely able to speak. Through quivering lips, he said simply, "I saw her. I saw."
I wonder what the real origin of that story is, because I know a lot of old places with modern day legend. And the stories they claim they go back to the 18th, 19th, or, whichever century really. There's a lot of different claims made. So it's like, this happened in the 1800s, this happened in 1902 or whatever. And very often there's zero evidence of the actual story. The claim is something you've not heard it from any locals. It's like, there's Gilbert, the old man who lives in the village, and he's like, it's like, you never heard of it. Never heard of it. And it's like, okay. But yeah, some of these things are just made up and they become like urban legend and all this kind of stuff. And I suppose it has some value, but I wouldn't say that confirms anything. Someone took a picture of something that looks like a person sitting behind a person. The picture said, it may well be the White Lady, kind of renowned in this area because I once heard a story of a man who climbed the tower and he saw the lady and he was left shivering and possibly piddling himself in the corner of the bell tower. So yeah, I've got my doubts. I'm not one to throw legend and myth into confirmation bias, but do what you will. Farm boy ghost of, Hertfordshire.
Boy ghost of Hertfordshire, England. Neil Sandbach was photographing some scenic farmhouse shots to be used as the backdrop for a couple's wedding stationery. The couple were planning to have their wedding at the quaint, out-of-the-way farm the next week. Later, when Neil examined the series of photos that he had taken,
I'll just say that Nuke's Top 5, really good storyteller. And I haven't just stolen this new content, so I'm not going to get any views for this. I'm not leaving his name in the tags or anything, just to make it clear. I'm not, just ripping off people's content. I just like, I like crazy and spooky and weird theories and stories and stuff, so this is why I'm ripping this off, and it's not the main focus of this video, it's just one of the many focuses. And this was made in 2018, so I don't think I'm going to be exactly, stealing the most contemporary work.
I was shocked to see that one of the images seemed to contain the bright, glowing figure of a young boy who seemed to be staring back at Neil from around the corner of one of the buildings.
I responded to this around about, I don't know, a week ago or something. So
Neil says that he's sure that there was no one else present at the farm when the photos were taken. Now, Neil was not sure exactly what had appeared in his photo. So before the wedding, Neil asked the staff of the farm if they had ever had any creepy or unexplained experiences while working there. Even though the farm staff had not seen Neil's spooky photo, and in fact didn't even know the picture existed, they all said that on many occasions they had each seen the figure of a young boy, dressed in old-fashioned white sleeping clothes, and lurking around the barn.
Well, that makes a kind of sense, I suppose. I think I came up with the same sort of idea when I was talking in a previous video where I said it looks more like a dress, and I suppose it's a sleeping gown of, times long gone where people wear a sleeping gown. Then I suppose it makes a kind of convoluted sense. It doesn't look much like a boy, it looks more like a skeleton head there. Like a skull, I mean. But in any case, or like an emasculated, not emasculated, a decimated, desiccated head there. But it's not very clear, is it? And once again, it's like a very small area. You can see the grain of the image. So it's not very helpful.
This is believed to be the spirit that Neil Sandbach photographed. But what do you think? Is it a real ghost caught on camera?
Thing is, if I was to answer that and say, hey, it's a real ghost, how would I know? If I said, no, it's not, it can't possibly be anything, how do you know that? Technically, we have to say, well, there could have been something there. Because there's something in the image, and the image apparently has not been tampered with. Right. But hey, there's also a story about the place. It's about a little boy. And it's like, how does that prove that? Either the image is evidence in and of itself of something which we cannot explain, or it's not. It would not be propped up by that. So people then go, oh, well, it looks like a little person or something. It could be a little girl or something. They probably thought the image. But there's a story of a little boy wearing a nightgown or what have you. And how many people have seen this? Well, we don't know. It's like so many other things. Like when people claim to hear, voices in a location or claim this, claim that, very often there's a space of years between reports. It varies, though. In fact, there's a number of haunted locations I've read about and looked at over the years. Not that I'm an expert in any way, shape or form. The stories regarding a location tend to be divided by the number of years. So there you are. There's one for... Next one is Chicago Ghost Truck. I think we can miss that. If you want to watch the rest of this video, you can do. Some of these things I've covered before. Like this one is from a paranormal investigation in the United States. A haunted building, allegedly haunted. They get numerous frames of something in the window. And to be entirely honest, I don't know what that is. I mentioned it in a previous video. And as I say, if you want to watch the rest of this video, look up Ghosts Caught on Camera, top 5 best ghost photos ever. And that's by Nuke's Top 5. But we personally, in this video, will be calling it a day. And in the next video, we'll move on to someone else's content.